Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the roasting session to begin. Yes, we are talking about the new game multiplayer shooter, which, again, this multiplayer shooter thing, I don't think they realize that they are well past their prime. I don't understand why these companies are investing in these multiplayer shooters, trying to take whatever's left of Overwatch's, player base. I really don't know. But it's funny. They do know Overwatch has a very particular player base because every single one of these multiplayer shooters that are coming out now after Overwatch are extremely woke. And we have another example of that. So there's a new game called CONCORD that was released, or is apparently being released, by PlayStation Studios, and everybody's making fun of it because it is not only pushing nonsensical pronoun BS on people, but it also has apparently no white people in the game.
You tried your best, and you failed miserably. The lesson is, never try.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this game is strictly seemingly focused anyway on DEI aspects, which I find to be extremely funny, but the pronoun stuff is really the stuff I want to talk about because it's such an absolute trope that people are trying to utilize to try to get any sort of weird player base. I really don't know. I mean, I don't understand why don't you just focus on making a good game versus trying to push the pronoun stuff, but you know what? I will say this. This is a game that's brand new. They decided to make a brand new IP that they happen to make woke as hell, and hey, they're allowed to do that, right? Just like we're allowed to not make a game that's woke as hell, they're allowed to make a game that is woke as hell. But I will say that I hope that their budget for this game is extremely low. So let's get into this article, guys, from That Park Plays. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. So it says PlayStation Studios' new 5 vs 5 multiplayer shooter CONCORD gets raked over the coals for pushing pronoun nonsense and DEI character designs. Now, when we look at this picture right here, I mean, listen, Overwatch has interesting designs too. I mean, I really don't know what to say, right? We're going to be talking about characters that are supposed to be a little bit strange, right? So I'm not going to knock it for having interesting, weird designs, although this black female with the blue lipstick and this, I guess this full suit of armor is pretty damn funny to me. It says Firewalk Studios, a subsidiary of PlayStation Studios, provided a number of new details about their upcoming 5 vs 5 multiplayer shooter, CONCORD, during a PlayStation State of Play presentation. It did not go well, as gamers are raking the game over the coals for pushing pronoun nonsense, DEI character designs, and being a ripoff of Overwatch. Now listen, there is a lot of games out there that are blatant ripoffs of other games that happen to be more successful or will at least set the new mold of standard, right? Fortnite is probably the best example that I could think of that did exactly that. And now Fortnite, that wasn't the standard when it came out, became the standard after the fact, right? So I'm not gonna hate on them for necessarily ripping off Overwatch, because I really don't give a shit about Overwatch, number one. And number two, let's not pretend like they're the only ones doing that. Everybody and their mother has done this at some form or another. Look at MMORPGs. Everybody would always say the next game they came out after World of Warcraft was a ripoff of World of Warcraft. It's the same fucking shit, right? So let's stop with that bullshit argument. But when it comes to the DEI stuff, this is where it gets interesting. It says, after showing off the gameplay, Firewalk Studios' Kim Krenis, who is the director of IP, revealed a number of the characters that includes One-Off, Vale, Lennox, and more. Each of the characters that she shows off features the character's name, its role, and their preferred pronouns, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, they already know that Overwatch fans, for the most part, whoever's left playing Overwatch, are mostly extremely woke-ass people who are going to be playing this game. That's why they've been making characters gay. That's why they've been adding sexualities to characters. This is the entire reason why it exists in the first place. So let's not pretend they don't know that information when they're making these characters. So the fact that these robots, right, this is a robot. I'm assuming this is a robot. This is not even a person. This robot apparently has pronouns, ladies and gentlemen, and it's not they, them, because that's what would make sense, right? It's not they, them, or it. It is simply he, him, which is hilarious. One of the characters named Lark has undecided in the location where the other character's preferred pronouns are. Undecided. Wow. That's a new identity now, being undecided. It's highly likely that the game will explore transgender ideology, as well as given Krinis explains every character brings their own unique personality, skills, and wide-ranging perspectives to the crew. She also details every week when you log into Concord, you'll be welcomed with a new cinematic vignette that will give you a chance to see our characters off the job. It will feature ongoing narrative arcs that grow the character stories and relationships and unpack the broader Concord galaxy. Brazilian gamer Cabrutus Rambo, who created the Sweet Baby Ink Detective Steam curator page and DEIDetective.com, reacted to the listed pronouns, writing on X, "So the fucking robot has pronouns in the next Sony game? Okay." Yes, again, ladies and gentlemen, he has a he, him pronouns in the game. It is so cringe. I don't know of anybody that would play this game and look at it and be like, wow, this is very stunning and brave. I'm so excited that this robot was able to give his pronouns. You know, good for him. Good for that robot. Anybody who looks at this stuff and is happy to see it is somebody who bases their entire reality on superficial nonsense. That's what this is. This is someone who looks at this and needs to see themselves in everything because they are a narcissist. Whether they understand that or not is yet to be seen, but that's the only people who are into stuff like this. That's it. It says X-user Manga Lawyer roasted the character design of Amari. He wrote on X, "Oh my god, finally, literally a playable tank." Oh my, YouTuber Endymion reacted writing, "PlayStation's new Hero 5 vs 5 PvP shooter, Concord, is full of diverse character designs, and they even have their pronouns listed below their name. See top right. Who is this game for exactly?" Again, listen, we need to be a little bit fair here, okay? We always say, listen, go make your own shit, right? If you're going to go make your own, if you want to do wokeness, go make your own game that's woke as fuck. And guess what? That's exactly what they did. They made their own game that's woke as fuck. Now, what we get to watch happen is the market gets to decide whether or not they want this woke shit or not. This is the most beautiful thing about this, right? Because they're not going to have an established IP behind them. They're not going to have a namesake that's going to carry them through the wokeness. Now, they have a brand new IP that they're being woke as fuck with. Now let's see what the market decides to do with this particular game. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of Sony soy boys out there that are going to buy it up just because it's directly from PlayStation and they got to support Big Daddy Corpo. But aside from them, I want to see what this game is like a year after release in terms of player base, because they need to have a player base in order for it to be successful. That's just the truth about it, right? So I want to see what happens. And now the market gets to dictate, do you want wokeness or do you not, right? It's going to be a beautiful thing. I can't wait to see. The top comments on the State of Play video on YouTube make it clear gamers are not interested in another Overwatch or Valorant clone from PlayStation Studios. One wrote, "PlayStation should honestly just stop working on live service games." Another posted, "Concord Cinematic was giving me Guardians of the Galaxy vibes until they showed that it's a 5 vs 5 shooter and all my interest went away." Another person wrote, "Concord looks exactly like the kind of games I will never play." Another posted, "Sony understand, we want games focused on single player narrative and not multiplayer service games." Another bemoaned, "Concord equals Valorant equals Overwatch, nothing new here." And see, that's the issue. A lot of these corporations don't understand that, yes, live service games can be heavily profitable. Everybody wants a slice of the live service pie. But the issue is that there's only so many gamers to go around in these live service games. They're not going to be playing every single one of them. They're going to be dedicated to maybe one or even two, but they're not going to be playing 3, 4, or 5 live service games. That's just too much. They don't have the time. Most of these people are adults. They can't sit down and play so many different games for such an extended period of time. So yes, single player narratives do still serve a purpose, and they're great for people who want to pick up a game, play it, and put it back down and go about their day. Live service games require commitment, require time, and nobody has the time to do it multiple games. It's just not possible. So what PlayStation is going to realize, and the last thing that they're going to want, is that they're going to lose a ton, and I mean a ton of money, depending on how much they invested in this. And I have no idea as of right now. I hope for them that their budget is extremely low, because I highly doubt that Concord is going to bring in any sort of real revenue. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.